Hey everyone, welcome back to Retirement and Beyond. My name is William Haynes. Thank you in advance for watching this video. If you found us on YouTube, check out our Facebook group as well. It's the same name, Retirement and Beyond, on Facebook. We post a little bit more content there. If you're watching this on Facebook, go ahead and check out our YouTube channel. Make sure there aren't any videos you missed. We post all of our videos in both groups, but YouTube is an easy place to check and make sure you didn't miss anything. Okay, this is the third video in my Planning for Retirement video series. In the first video, we talked about setting retirement goals, which is a very important first step. In the second video, we talked about estimating retirement expenses, annual expenses, based on those goals we set. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to calculate how much you need to be saving each month or each year to be able to meet those retirement goals based on your expected annual expenses in retirement. As today's motivation, I'm going to go ahead and post the weather forecast in San Diego, California. Looks like it's 69 degrees and sunny there today. And then in Sarasota, looks like it's 85 degrees and sunny. Okay, now before we get started, just have a quick disclosure for you. This video does not contain any personalized advice. It is a purely educational video meant to get you thinking about personal finance. Consult with a financial, tax, or legal professional who has taken the time to learn about your unique situation before making any decisions. As you can see, I have a couple of charts up here. I also posted these charts in our Facebook group, but I thought it might be a little bit easier to explain with a few examples here on video, so that's what I'm doing. Now, before I get started, I want to make sure to say that these charts are not one size fits all. That means depending on your retirement goals, maybe you should have a higher nest egg right now or lower nest egg than this. Same with your savings rate. Depending on your goals, that savings rate may be different. Now, I'm going to help you calculate what your exact savings rate should be given your estimated annual expenses in retirement. This is just a general idea of where you should be given a few of these assumptions that I'm going to make. So those assumptions are a wage replacement ratio of 80%, a well-balanced portfolio, and steady inflation between 2 to 3%. So if your wage replacement ratio is above or below 80%, your numbers might be different than this. If your portfolio isn't completely balanced, your numbers, again, might be different than this. And as we all know, inflation is currently well above 2 to 3%. I'm just hoping we average between 2.5% to 3.5% over the years. So let me get into the charts then. At age 25, given these assumptions, someone might want to have 0.2% of annual income as their nest egg. Okay, what does that mean? So say a 25-year-old makes $100,000 per year. This chart shows that they should probably have about $20,000 saved for retirement at age 25. So let's keep going. At age 30, if you still make $100,000, then you should have between $60,000 and $80,000 saved for retirement. And so you can do this with any income, given that these assumptions are what you want in retirement. This will give you a general idea of where you should be. Moving to the other chart, this is savings rate based on the age where you start saving. So if you start saving in your mid-20s to mid-30s, industry standard says you should have a savings rate of about 13%. Again, that's given these goals. If you have loftier goals, then your savings rate should probably be higher. Again, we'll try to calculate your exact number later in this video. If you start saving later in your mid-30s to mid-40s, then your savings rate should probably be higher than 13%, at 13 to 20%. Finally, if for whatever reason you're unable to start saving for retirement until your mid-40s and mid-50s, which is more common than you might think, your savings rate should be even higher, between 20 and 40%, depending, again, on your goals. So again, this is just meant to give you a general idea about what we're about to talk about next, and showing you how to calculate your annual savings rate to reach your retirement goals. Now, let's move away from generalizations and move into how to calculate exact numbers. So, I want to preface this with there's nothing wrong with playing around with this financial calculator and saying, okay, well, if I want this much per year in retirement, this is what I'm going to have to save. But if I want that much, this is what I'll have to save. That being said, this isn't exactly how a financial advisor would do it. Um, Financial advisors have different programs that basically do this for them. It takes out some of the possible errors that we might make while doing this. Errors like adding an extra zero, putting a decimal place in a wrong spot, typing in a wrong number. It can be dangerous because I want you guys to get accurate results. That being said, play around with this before you set your retirement plan into stone. Please consult a financial professional. Now, let's see what we have going on up here. This math box up in the top right corner. Any math I may need to put up during this video, I'll just have it right there in the box so you can kind of see what I'm talking about, and I can show you that, what I'm saying makes sense. So let's calculate. To start, we kind of have to work backwards to see what we need to save each month up until retirement. So to start, let's calculate the big nest egg, the amount of money we're going to need at the beginning of retirement to get us through retirement based on what we want per year, like we talked about last video. So that's going to be present value, PV up here. You can see it's clicked. It's the gray one. So if you go to calculator.net, go ahead and click present value to try and figure out what your nest egg will need to be. I make a few assumptions here in this situation. Let me talk you through the situation that I'm going to calculate this for. So a 30-year retirement, this person wants to retire when they're 60. Family history and data suggest that they are going to pass away around year 90, so that's a 30-year long retirement. So number of periods, that's going to be 30. Okay, this person is going to get an annual return of 7% average over the years, and inflation is going to average 3%. Now, when calculating return, it's better to be more conservative than more aggressive because we don't want to say we're going to get 10% per year and only get 7, and then we won't get what we need in retirement. So whatever you think a conservative estimate is for annual return, go ahead and put that in there. So here, interest per year, you see it's 3.9%. That's because this is how you calculate 7% annual return with that inflation rate baked in. So you take 1 plus annual return, so 1.07, divide it by 1 plus inflation, so 1.07 divided by 1.03, and that equals just about 3.9%. You can see it's a little different than just 7 minus 3 equals 4, and it's important to be accurate. So that's how you make that calculation. This person makes $150,000 per year, and they've calculated based on their retirement wants and needs that they're going to need an 80% wage replacement ratio. So multiply 150,000 times 0.8 and get 120,000. That being said, if someone makes $100,000 per year and has a 77% wage replacement ratio, 100,000 times 0.77 is equal to 77,000, and then you'd put 77,000 in this payment instead of 120,000. A higher example would be if someone makes $500,000 per year and they estimate that their wage replacement ratio is going to be 110% in retirement, then this payment is going to be 500,000 times 1.1 equals 550,000. Okay, future value. So at age 90, how much is this person going to have left? So in this example, this guy or girl wants 500,000 left in their estate for whatever gifting, charitable, or estate purposes that they want 500,000 for. I wouldn't suggest putting 0 in here because data and family history might suggest you live till you're 90, but maybe you live until you're 93. If you have 0 at age 90, those last 3 years are going to put a strain on your family. And so it's better to be more conservative and don't go exact annuity model. Instead, put a little something in there. Alrighty, so the settings. Periods, number of periods per year. So 30-year retirement, 30 periods, so 1 per year. Number of times interest compounds per year, 3.9%, 30 years, 1 time per year there. Payments made. So in retirement, I'm going to want my payment at the beginning of the year so I can spend my $120,000 throughout the entire year. So go ahead and click beginning because retirement payments are made at the beginning of the year. So once all that's in there, you decide for yourself, you calculate for yourself what those numbers are going to be for you. Go ahead and press calculate. And here I see that my nest egg, my number that I need at the beginning of retirement to get through retirement is $2,341,064.25. That may seem like a lot. In the next example, I'm going to take this number and calculate how much I need to save each month up until retirement. Now that we know the amount that this man or woman is going to need at the beginning of their retirement, we can calculate how much they need to save on a monthly or yearly basis based on that amount. So a few assumptions that I'm making here in this example are that this person is 35 years old. They're retiring at age 60, like I said before. And so that means they're going to have 25 years until retirement. Okay, through those years, they're going to get an 8% annual return. Now, it's a little bit higher than their retirement return. A lot of times people have more aggressive portfolios 25 years out until retirement versus in retirement. And so that's the difference between the 7 and 8% return then versus now. So on a balanced portfolio, just invested a little bit more aggressively. We're assuming 8% return on average per year until retirement. All right, so this 35-year-old has $225,000 saved for retirement at this point. From my previous general charts that I showed you, we know that a 35-year-old is going to, on average, 80% wage replacement, going to have 1.6 to 1.8 to 1 ratio in retirement savings. So 225,000 would be a little bit less than that, 1.5 to 1 retirement ratio. And then we just calculated the need of $2,341,064.25 at retirement to reach their goals. So let's get started. So before, up here, the PV was clicked because we're trying to find out the value that we need at the beginning of retirement, that present value. Here, it's PMT for payment. We're trying to figure out what payment we need to make to our retirement accounts to get to that $2.3 million number. So click payment, number of periods, so 25 years. What we're doing here is we're investing every month. For 25 years, so there's 300 months in 25 years. So that's why the number of periods is 300. If you just wanted to invest on an annual basis, a larger lump sum, then you could put 25. Down in the settings, I have number of periods per year as 12 because there are 12 months in a year. If you were to invest just on an annual basis, then you would have 1 there in the number of periods in the settings. But since I have 300, it's 12. So interest per year, 4.8%. It's a little bit different. So it's 8% annual return. That's the difference between the 3.9 in retirement versus the 4.8 now. So the math is the same though. 1.08 divided by 1.03 minus 1 is equal to just about 4.8%. We already talked about the present value. This person has $225,000 in savings. That's 1.5 to 1 ratio. So they're a little lower than that average. Doesn't matter if it's 0 in this box or if it's $1 million. It will change the payment that you need to get to that 2 million, obviously. But no matter what you put in there, it's going to give you a payment amount that you need. And then future value, we already calculated that you're going to need 2.3 million at the beginning of retirement. So that's here. The number of times interest is compounded per year is 1. So if you wanted to compound it every month, then you would put 12 in this box, but then you divide the interest per year, 4.8, by 12 and put that number in there. So since it's full 4.8, not 4.8 divided by 12, we're just putting 1 number of times compounded per year. Finally, payments made at the end of each period. It's pretty normal to put money into retirement at the end of each month, not at the beginning of each month. So if you do it at the beginning of each month, go ahead and press beginning. Most people do it at the end, so I'm going to put it at the end here. Alrighty, so now once you figure all those numbers out for yourself, you can go ahead and click the calculate button. You can see here that in this example, this man or woman is going to need to save $2,835.93 per month at the end of each month for the next 300 months to be able to get to that $2.3 million mark. Now, things change all the time in the world. It's important for a retirement plan to be flexible. For example, this 8% annual return might not happen. It might be less than that. Of course, if that happens, then you may need to contribute a little bit more each month. And vice versa, you may get better than expected returns. And then that compound interest would make it so you don't have to save as much. So it's important to always be flexible. These are exact numbers down to the cent, but these are assumptions being made, and so it's in the assumptions that we need to be flexible, if that makes sense. So we see here this person makes $150,000 per year, so that is $12,500 a month. If we divide 2,835.93 divided by 12,500, we see that this is a savings rate of 22%. And so you get your savings rate. So if this person wants to reach their goals, either they need to save that much money per month now, or even more money per month later, or have a higher annual return. But annual return isn't something that we can just automatically get, so it's important to be conservative there. So that's basically how you find out how much you need to save each month until retirement in order to get the right amount of money to get you to and through retirement and reach your goals in retirement. Thank you guys for watching that video. It was a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but this is the stuff that I love to calculate. This is the stuff that I love to talk about. That's probably why it went a little bit longer. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And if you're in the Facebook group, please like and share if you feel obligated. For those of you who are already in San Diego and Sarasota, congratulations. We'll all be there with you soon. Thanks again for watching. Have a great week.